The check you just mailed is for sale online. Photographed, listed in a private chat channel, and priced like used furniture, and the buyer plans to give it a raise. This is check washing, the scam where a $200 water bill comes out of the mail as $9,800. And it clears. I'll show you the whole pipeline, stage by stage, from your mailbox to the folding table to the online storefront to the empty account. Because the scale here is not small. Banks now file tens of thousands of check fraud reports every single month, double to triple the level of just a few years ago, and the typical reported case runs well into 5 figures. Worse, the person it happens to usually finds out weeks late. On the statement, the check looks perfectly normal. It cleared after all. And here's the twist that makes this scam different from every forgery you've imagined. The thieves never fake your signature. Hold on to that. Now it's the key to the whole machine. So here's the plan. How your check gets stolen in the first place, what actually happens to it on the folding table, the underground storefront where it's bought and sold, who ends up paying when the money disappears, and the free habits that shut the entire pipeline down. No fear, just the pipeline, because once you've seen how it runs, you can starve it. Let's get into it. Stage 1, the theft. Your check leaves your control through one of 3 doors. Door 1 is the big blue collection box on the corner. Thieves go fishing. A weighted line dropped through the mail slot, something sticky on the end, pulled up again and again in the middle of the night, until envelopes come out. Door 2 is the master key. The postal service uses a universal key. Carriers call it an arrow key, and one key opens every collection box and every apartment mailbox panel in its zone. That's why letter carriers themselves have become targets. 628 of them were robbed on the job in a single recent year, often for exactly that key. And a stolen key resells for thousands because it isn't a key to one box. It's a key to a neighborhood. And Daughter 3 is the one nobody suspects because you own it, your own mailbox, at the end of your own driveway, with the little red flag raised. Here's the mental shift for this whole stage. That flag is not a mailbox feature. It's a broadcast. It tells every car that rolls past, outgoing mail here. And outgoing mail is where the checks are. The rent, the utility bill, the birthday card with a check tucked inside. So the thief doesn't have to search 100 mailboxes. You've marked yours for them. Whichever door it comes through, your envelope ends up in the same place. On a folding table, under a bottle of something you have in your house right now. That table is stage 2. Stage 2, the wash. And the reason this scam has its name. The stolen envelope is opened and your check goes onto that table. Common household chemicals, the kind sold in any supermarket, will lift ordinary ballpoint ink right off the paper. A few minutes later, the thief is holding something better than a blank check, a genuine check, on your real account with 2 empty fields, and they rewrite exactly 2 things: the name of who gets paid and the amount. Your $200 water bill is now payable to a stranger for $9,800. Now, the payoff of the twist from the start: they never touched your signature. They washed around it, deliberately, because you'd assume check fraud means forging a signature, right? That's the myth to bust. Forging is the amateur version, and it's exactly what banks are watching for. The professional version keeps your real handwriting on the one line the bank actually checks. Think about what that means. Real paper, real account number, real routing number, your genuine signature. When that check arrives at a bank, there's almost nothing about it that looks wrong, because almost everything about it is real. That's why it clears, and that's why the victims aren't careless people. There was nothing careless to catch. One more thing before we follow the money. You'd assume the thief now sprints to a bank to cash it. Increasingly, they don't cash it at all, because a washed check can be worth more unsold. That sounds backwards until you see stage 3. Stage 3, the storefront. Washed checks are not hoarded. They're inventory. They get photographed and listed for sale in private channels on encrypted chat apps, the way other people sell furniture. And this market is not a rumor in a dark corner. Researchers who monitor these channels counted roughly 1 million stolen check images posted in just 6 months across more than 700 channels. One research team cataloged 18,000 individual checks in a 5-month window. The prices are the tell for how industrial this is. A washed personal check, like yours, now reading $9,800, typically lists for up to about $250. A business check, up to about $650. Why so cheap? Because the seller is offloading the risk. Whoever deposits that check has to survive the bank's scrutiny, so the check passes down a chain. The fisher sells to the washer sells to a buyer, and the buyer runs it through a mule, someone whose bank account rents out as a landing pad, sometimes a willing accomplice, sometimes a person who answered a fake job ad. By the time it reaches a teller window or a mobile deposit camera, the person cashing your check may be 3 handshakes away from whoever fished it out of the blue box. Some listings don't even sell the paper. They sell the image and your account numbers so the buyer can print their own. And through all of this, the photographing, the listing, the resale, the deposit, one quiet fact is doing the heavy lifting. Nobody has noticed anything yet. That silence is not luck. It's the next stage of the machine. Stage 4, who pays it back? And here's the myth that needs busting gently because it's mostly true. If a check gets altered, the bank makes it right. In general, yes. When a check is altered and the bank pays it, the bank is usually required to put the money back. But there are 3 catches, and the scam is built on all 3. Catch 1 is time. You don't get a phone call when a washed check clears. It looks like any other check you wrote. You find out when the balance surprises you, or when the real bill arrives unpaid, weeks later. Then the bank investigates, which can take more weeks. The money usually comes back. The rent was due anyway. Catch 2 is the clock. Banking rules put a duty on you. Review your statements, report problems promptly. Here's the number that matters: about 30 days. If the same thief washes a second check from you, and you never caught the first one within roughly 30 days of your statement, the later losses can land on you, not the bank. And there's a hard outer wall. Wait past a year, and in general, the claim is gone entirely. The rules vary. That's a conversation for your own bank. But the principle doesn't. The calendar is part of the crime. Catch 3 is scale. In federal filings, the median mail theft check fraud case is over $14,000. The average, around $45,000. The rewrite is sized to whatever the account will bear. So yes, you can usually win the refund fight. But the machine is counting on you not looking, and the smarter move is to never enter the pipeline at all. That's stage 5. Stage 5. How you beat it. And the defense costs almost nothing, which is the empowering part. One habit sits above all the others, so here is the sentence to remember. Never raise the flag, hand your mail to the system, not the street. Outgoing mail never sits in your home mailbox advertising itself. Give it to your letter carrier directly, or use the lobby slot or the counter inside the post office. If a blue collection box is your only option, drop before the last pickup time printed on the box. Never overnight, because overnight is when the phishing happens. Around that one habit, 4 more. 1. Change the ink. Pigmented gel ink bonds with the paper's fibers, so washing it destroys the check instead of blanking it. Treat it as a seatbelt, not a force field. A photographed check can still be counterfeited. 2. Better than any pen. Write fewer checks. A check that doesn't exist can't be washed. Your bank's own online bill pay sends payments without your account number ever riding through a mailbox. 3. Look at your account weekly, not quarterly. Stage 4's 30-day clock only ever cuts people who never look. A 2-minute glance every Sunday beats it forever. And 4. Bring in your incoming mail every day and have the post office hold it when you travel. If it's already happened, move fast and in order. Call your bank immediately and ask about closing or reissuing the account number, not just the one check. Report it to the postal inspectors and to the FTC. Both are on screen. File a police report. The bank's paperwork will want it. And keep everything as evidence. Statements, envelopes, images. Speed is your whole advantage here. You now know why. So here's the whole pipeline in one breath. It starts at the mailbox, a fished blue box a stolen master key, or your own raised red flag doing the advertising. Then the wash. 2 fields rewritten and your genuine signature deliberately kept, because genuine is exactly what clears. Then the storefront. Your check photographed, listed in an encrypted channel and sold for a fraction of what it will drain, passed down a chain to whoever finally deposits it. Then the clock. The bank usually has to make an altered check right, but only if you catch it, and 30 days is the number to beat, while the whole machine is engineered so that you notice nothing for weeks. And it dies against one habit. Hand your mail to the system, not the street. Backed by gel ink, fewer paper checks, and a 2-minute look at your account every week. The pipeline starves when the mailbox is empty. That's the whole defense. The next time you're about to drop an envelope in the mailbox and raise that little red flag, you'll see it for what it is, a signal to a market you now understand. And you'll know it has no move against an empty mailbox. If this pulled back a curtain for you, consider subscribing. That's what this channel is for. The digital world explained in plain English, so you and the people you love stay a step ahead. We've just covered the scam that steals the real mail. Next, watch the one that fakes the mail itself. The USPS text scam, where a missed delivery message is built to drain your card. It's on the channel right now, and send this video to the person in your life who still mails every bill with the flag up. Stay sharp out there.